Good evening, and welcome to another World of Warships video with Captain Darkwing Glacier. In this battle, I am taking out my Tier 7 premium German battleship, the Scharnhorst. Now, the Scharnhorst is a ship I recently bought. I got it during the summer sale that Wargaming was running a little while ago, and I'm kind of glad I got it, because for the longest time, I had plenty of Tier 7 ships at the time, and it just wasn't a high priority to get the Scharnhorst, and, despite a lot of other people saying what a great ship it was. I was just interested in playing other ships, like mostly the American line, and then I started working on the various other lines, and then when I started working on the Germans, I got as far as the Kaiser, I believe, and then I was working my way to get like the bigger ships like the Bismarck and the Grosse Kurfürst. And right when I got to the Kaiser and I was doing pretty well on that, Wargaming did a special where you could earn the Bismarck, so I could skip over the König, the Bayern, the Gneisenau, and get the Bismarck. So I did that, and then at that point I was like, well, I don't really need the Scharnhorst because I had the Bismarck, and I kitted it out with a full secondary build and had a lot of fun with it. And so the Scharnhorst just kind of wasn't a priority ship to get. But since it was on sale and it was only about 20 bucks, I decided to pick one up, and I'm glad I did. So I stuck my Bismarck Captain on the Scharnhorst for this, so it is also a secondary build. And which was a pleasant surprise to find out that the Scharnhorst can be kitted out that way and actually can be pretty effective. So the Scharnhorst, the first thing I found out about this thing is that the guns are a lot more accurate than I expected. I mean, look at that spread right there. It's 4 overpens and 1 penetration, but on a destroyer at about a 12-kilometer range. That's pretty good. That's much better Sigma than I was expecting from this ship. Also, the ship handles like a cruiser. I mean, it is a battle cruiser, or a pocket battleship, whatever you want to call it, but it definitely maneuvers much differently than the other German ships that I'm used to. So very quickly I learned how maneuverable this ship is, and I was kind of disappointed to find out that I do not have the access to the hydroacoustic consumable, but I do have a catapult airplane, which is good, and the guns again perform much better than I expected they would. So here I didn't give them quite enough lead, but I still get a couple of penetrating hits. So our Farragut is definitely in trouble here, and I'm a little bit worried at all the ships that I see starting to pile up in A, so I begin to turn away, thinking I'm going to kite a little bit. Get another decent shot on this guy, and I get first blood and kill number 1. So the Königsberg was trying to escape, showing a little bit too much broadside, and I'm pleasantly surprised again by the nice tight dispersion of my main guns. And I do have to say that yes, they are 11-inch guns, but they do fantastic against enemy cruisers and destroyers, and that fast reload is just amazing. So yes, it doesn't hit quite so hard as the larger battleships at this tier, but I think the rapid reload definitely makes up for it. So at this point we lost our Farragut. We have comfortably taken both B and C, and most of the enemy fleet is either moving into A or kind of hanging around south of B, not really sure what to do. So we definitely have an advantage at this point, even though the fact that we're down by 2 destroyers. And we just took out their Mayhans, so now we now have a parity with them in terms of number of ships. So at this point I am just kind of circling around, going after targets of opportunity, hoping to whittle them down around A until the point where we can make a move. So here their Fushun, I think maybe he ran aground, which was a mistake, and we'll see if this turns out to be a fatal one. My shots aren't perfectly on target because he was backing up, but it was good enough. I get 1 penetrating hit, and that's enough to get kill number 2. So at this point the ships are essentially cleared out of the A cap. So now I'm just going to go in and support the Leon, who is taking the lead and going after that cap. There is an enemy Farragut in there, and I'm concerned that the Leon is going to get a face full of torpedoes any minute. So in the meantime, since I don't have a good angle on the Farragut, I shoot at the Helena instead, because if he comes in, he can light us both up with a lot of HE. The Farragut looks like he's afraid to expose himself to the Lion, because the Lion has 16 guns that could tear him apart. So I think the Farragut is just trying to remain a threat, but also remain undetected. So I do a little bit more damage to the Helena there, still closing in. That Farragut is still there. He's not getting scared enough to get out of there by the Leon, who is successfully... Well, actually, I think he's still contesting the cap. Nope, looks like the Farragut left. So here I take another shot of opportunity at the Akatsuki. I'm just looking for any target I can until I can get in here, and I'm pretty confident that I can take out this Farragut if he shows himself. Oh, there's a enemy Podvoisky. Here comes some torpedoes launched by the Farragut. The Podvoisky is, I think he's in trouble just by sticking his nose out like that. Do a lot of damage. My secondary is now lighting him up. This is where I get pretty excited that my secondaries do pretty good, and that gets me kill number 3. And close quarters expert. So, you know, when I get 3 out of the 4 first kills in a game, you kind of get a feeling that the game is going pretty well and that there's nothing that can stop you. You get this feeling that, you know, things are just going to keep on going well, and you need to take advantage of it. So here I am trying to see if I can get kill number 4 on the Farragut. Here come torpedoes launched at the Leon, but fortunately I'm going to be able to turn away, but I don't know about my compatriot here in the Leon. Here I am searching for the Budiani. He starts coming in. Fortunately, the Leon does evade all the torpedoes. Do a decent hit on the Budiani there. The Farragut looks like he's left the area. I launched some torpedoes just in the general direction of the Budiani to see maybe I can get lucky and get a hit on him. We do have a low health Omaha coming in to help, which may not be the wisest decision if the Budiani decides to pick on him, which he does, setting the Omaha on fire. Already one of our teammates has Confederate, so he's done a significant amount of damage. Unfortunately, the Omaha goes down. The Budiani is very low on health. I do hit the Budiani with one of my torpedoes, but the Leon takes him out. So we are still doing pretty well. We're up 1 ship. They are down 5. We are down 4. We still hold the C cap while the enemy team now has a nice tight grip on B. And they kind of have the superior position because our ships are scattered all over the map. Whereas they are generally centrally located, except for the Colorado perhaps, but most of them can mutually support each other, whereas ours, well, I guess you could argue that we are surrounding them, but on the other hand, some of the ships are somewhat isolated, including me and the Leon are stuck in A, the Indianapolis, and our Mahan are stuck behind that island south of C, and there we just lost our La Glacière. Hopefully I'm not pronouncing that too horribly. So now we are down 1 ship, 6 to their 5. I take a quick shot at this Farragut as he tries to sneak away, and that is kill number 4. I spotted Duke of York here, thinking, okay, I'm going to launch my torpedoes at him. He's going to plow right into him, but he's wise to that maneuver, and he immediately starts turning away. The problem is that, well, I do have a lot more health than he does, but he is a much larger ship than I am, and he could probably set a lot of fires on me. So I decided I need to angle on him while also trying to get some torpedoes into his stern. My secondaries are constantly lighting him up as well. Yeah, I've already got 29 secondary hits on him, 30. So I'm very impressed with the secondaries on this thing. I think my secondary range is, what, 8 kilometers? So there we go, I get the Confederate Award. I kick off my port torpedoes, and I make the Duke of York start turning again. And kind of this, me maneuvering behind him to port and starboard is forcing him to do the same to evade my torpedoes, and that's preventing him from turning in such a way that he can use his forward guns on me. He can only use his rear turret, which limits the amount of fire he can put, whereas I can use both of my front turrets, And I'm still using AP, and I probably should switch to HE at this point and just set him on fire. But I guess I wasn't focusing quite enough on that. In the meantime, we are now down to 4 ships to the enemy's 5. They have 2 caps. We lost our Leon, and things are looking kind of dire at this point. I've got 90 plus secondary hits on this guy. I don't think he's going to survive much longer. He's doing a good job evading my torpedoes. And this is when I just spot this Nagato who is just begging to be shot at. So I continue my secondaries on the Duke of York. And my shots on the Nagato don't quite hit. And he also dodges the torpedoes launched by our Gajamata. And I'm pretty confident that this Duke of York is toast. At this point, I take some final shots with AP, take out his rear turret, but don't quite kill him. The Nagato is now starting to aim at me, and my health is being whittled away. The Nagato looks like he also kicked off his repair party as well. So this Duke of York has successfully dodged every single one of my torpedoes, but that's not going to keep him alive as I get Kraken unleashed, kill number 5, and we are now back at parity with the enemy team with 4 ships each. I do have the enemy Akatsuki off my port side, so I need to constantly be aware of him because he's undoubtedly going to be launching torpedoes at me. I set my secondaries to annoy him, and I focus on the Nagato here, who gets taken out by our Indianapolis. And here come the torpedoes by the Akatsuki, but fortunately I'm well out of the way. We are up 1 ship. They do have the Colorado and the Helena here, and they do have the Akatsuki. The problem is I'm closest to all of them, and my allied ships, our Gajamata, the Indianapolis, and the Mahan, are all not in any position to support me whatsoever. So I get to see if I can just do some damage and maybe take out this Helena before it's over. So I switch to HE, hoping I can burn him down, while hopefully desperately waiting for my heal. Yep, my heal just came back, so I kicked that off. But I'm running out of heals, and there is that Akatsuki out there who is undoubtedly stalking me, so I need to keep turning. That's one of the things I like about this ship very much, is that because it's maneuverable, it allows me to do my preferred style of play, which is just keeping mobile and moving and turning all the time. I'm not much of a bow tanker type of a player, so I don't like to sit in one spot. I like to keep moving, keep turning, throw off their aim wherever possible, and screw up their torpedo aiming as well. So in chat we can see some of my teammates are kind of angry at each other. I don't know why, because we're winning, we're still up 1 ship, but they're just arguing at each other, which is kind of pointless. Okay, here's the Colorado. He's near full health, so there's no way I can kill him. But maybe I can do some damage, a little bit of damage to him. And there, I spot the Akatsuki again. He's off my starboard side. Take another shot at the Helena. My health is really low. Can I get one more? Nope, the Helena's taken down by the Indianapolis, which is good. But my health is almost gone. And there's the Akatsuki. Maybe I can get my main guns on him. But I spot the torpedoes. They're going to get me. They're too late. But I'm going to take this guy with me if it's the last thing I do. And it is. It's just a flesh wound. I get kill number 6. But that wipes me out. In chat, you can see that the Akatsuki driver is mocking my imminent death. And then, being a good sport, he realizes that he has bad luck as I take him out too. So that was a pretty good performance for the Scharnhorst. It was a very exciting battle. It kept me moving. It kept me alert all the time. It was kind of a heart-pounding battle, if you ask me. Now we definitely have the advantage. It's 3 ships to 1. This Colorado is not going to survive all on his own. He's probably going to take some torpedoes, or the Indianapolis and our Mahan will weigh him down. In any event, we have 2 out of 3 caps, so this Colorado really has his work cut out for him. But still, I do have to reiterate again that the Scharnhorst was a lot of fun. I'm really glad I picked it up. I was able to get Kraken Unleashed, Confederate, and it's just a flesh wound. And I think I've only had a handful of games in this ship, so it seems to really be conducive to my kind of playstyle. So the Colorado takes another hit. He's about to go down. And I think we have this one in the bag. So if you don't have the Scharnhorst yet, and you're wavering about whether or not to get it, I suggest you do, because it is a fantastic ship, and I like it very much. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching.